Right, let's take you back to our leading story, our breaking news, crossing back to our reporter now, Linda Mnisi, who's at the Bloemfontein Magistrates Court. Linda, it's been quite a dramatic morning, I suppose, as we take a look at some of the details that came out of this morning. Dr. Nandipha Magudumana's father granted bail of 10,000 rand. Talk to us about some of the highlights of the court appearance this morning.
All right, and Paul, as you rightfully point out, Zolile Sekeleni granted 10,000 rand bail. So for now, he gets to go home and, of course, continue with his life, but under very strict conditions. You would have seen just inside court, Dr. Nandipha Magudumana's family, as well as Utatu Zolile Sekeleni's family, really sharing a moment there, embracing each other, as, of course, she appeared in court. They're now standing outside court, having a moment to themselves. As you can imagine, those scenes that played out in court, you should have seen her, also extending, her greetings to them. The lady in the black there, moving to that other direction, is Dr. Nandipha Magudumana's sister. She has been in court when she made her first appearance, as well as Ubab Zolile Sekeleni's first appearance. She was inside court relatively calm, when all the scenes were playing out. So we also saw, similar incidents. The ladies that you saw here, saying to Nandipha, calling her out in court, and, when she wasn't responding, her father then, telling her that there are people who are actually calling her behind her. She turned and she extended her greetings. There was also her friend, one of her friends, who was here, also, extending that greeting during those court proceedings, prior, in fact, to those court proceedings. Not a very lengthy, court sitting in court. We saw the state not opposing bail, but requesting that it rather be placed at 10,000 rand. This is, of course, makes it easier for the defense because it's not opposed, right? So the defense would not have to go at length to try and convince the court, but also the court would have to weigh all the submissions that are made before this court in order for them to consider even issuing out a bail. At this point, it seems, the state did not have a problem with him being granted bail, therefore saying that it must be placed at 10,000 rand. This does not mean, that the father of Dr. Magudumana, Zolile Sekeleni, is a free man. He still remains criminally charged and will be back on the 16th of May. You'll remember the others, are also still, coming back on another court date. This will allow them, to decide on what they want to do. You'll remember also accused number 3, that's Tebohodi Polo, also confirming to the court today that he wants legal aid. That is a state-sponsored lawyer to represent him during these court proceedings. Bail is one issue that remains available to an accused person throughout their criminal trial. Even during trial stages, an accused person can still bring an application for bail. What we know is that at this point, the defense hadn't, indicated to the court whether or not they want to apply for bail for Dr. Nandipha Magudumana, but it's still an option that is very much available to them.
We briefly saw Dr. Magudumana's face, very briefly, for the first time since her appearance in court last week. Of course, that was a request that was made.
It is indeed a request that was made by the state saying that it is not sure if it is the right person that is before the court, because you remember her first court appearance, she was quite covered up, wearing a hoodie and also wearing a surgical mask in a similar fashion, really, that we saw today. Kept her face down, not looking at members of the media. Newzroom Afrika managed to catch a glimpse of her. We managed to have an interaction with her during her first court appearance, where she indicated to us that she was okay. But today, also maintaining the same, decorum, facing down throughout proceedings, and the state saying that, at this point, they don't know whether they've got the right person or not before the court. it was quite interesting listening to the submissions by Advocate Themba Diba, saying that unless the state suggests that they don't have the right person in court, they don't see the relevance of Dr. Nandipha Magudumana being asked to reveal her face in court. And the state saying that, well, it may well be that they don't have the right person. The state needs to satisfy itself, and the court also ought to satisfy itself that she is indeed the right person that was arrested and was brought before this court. So we saw her there pulling down her surgical mask, pulling back and opening up her hoodie, showing her face for the very first time. Quite interesting to note is that today she was even wearing her wedding ring, which she wasn't wearing during her first court appearance. So showing her face really quickly and then closing up. The court told her that it wasn't satisfied with how she revealed herself initially, and then she had to do it again, opening up that hoodie, pulling down that surgical mask for the court to satisfy itself. So the court can confirm at this point that accused number 4 is indeed Dr. Nandipha Magudumana.
Very well, Mnisi, let's leave it there for now.